Hello guys, today we are going to replace the screen and disassemble this ASUS ZenFone 2. As you can see, it has here a lot of screen damage and the upper part of the display isn't working anymore, only down here. So the first thing we're going to do is, here you can see I have a brand new front panel with a digitizer and the display all contained in one unit. So I only have to swap it out, and that's everything. Here we have a new display glass for later on and all the tools we are going to need. So the first thing we are going to do is power it down. After it's powered down, we are going to remove the backside. After clipping off the backside, here it is. Here you can see the wireless, the NFC, I believe, not the wireless charging, and here's the phone itself. So the first thing we are going to do, there are 14 screws all around here, and we are going to put them out. And the last screw is under this water damage indicator, and you just can peek through it, but be advised there isn't then a warranty for your phone anymore. You can just put a screwdriver through it and screw the screw out. So let's do this. With all the screws removed, you see it, here was the water indicator. We can now just pop open this back plate here and keep your screws somewhere safe so you don't lose them, and you can just lift it up and get it out here. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We have to take out the power up and down volume key by just putting out the screw here. Then we can take off the whole back cover. So after losing the screw here, we have access to the inner workings of this phone. We can see here they have a very nice heat shield all around to cool the CPU, GPU passively. That's very nice. Here you can see the battery. On top of the battery, all the ports, and here we have a speaker. And the cool thing about the speaker is you can take it out without anything. It is put on just here, installed, just put on and screw it in place. You must not connect it to anything, you just put it in and it works. There are here the contacts for it. It's a very cool touch by ASUS. So let's put away the speaker here, and now let's take a look. The next step we have to do is just to put the battery out, this board out, and loosening all the connectors here, here. And the first thing we're going to do is disconnect the battery to avoid any shortage. Here is the next connector. Then we have down there one, and we have an antenna cable down here, but I will try not to touch it because it's very fragile. It goes along here and ends in here. I'm going to try to remove it without touching it. Let's look how that will work. So let's loosen up all those connectors. After opening every connector, here, and down there, we are going to disconnect the antenna strip that goes down here from the phone itself by just slowly pulling it outwards. So with the cable disattached, we are going to remove the vibration motor, and it is not tucked in place, so just lift it out and it's out. So you can just lift out the second board out of here. It is not screwed in or glued in, so you can just take it out without any problems. So the next thing we are going to do is to get a battery out, And battery has here, you can see this little white dot here. This here, this is the glue, and when you pull on this tab here, the glue underneath the battery will come out, and you can just take it out then. So now I removed the battery out of here, and the next step is to remove the motherboard. You can see here is it attached, but you can just lift it off with a tool, and then you can lift this whole thing out easily. It isn't glued in or anything, so you can just strip here down and put this whole thing out. And as you can see, I tried to let the antenna cable placed here and here on the board, so I don't have to disconnect them because they're really fragile. So let's remove the strip and put this thing out here. And that's the whole phone disassembled. I try to leave all those components together so we save a lot of time. So here's the old back plate. I cleaned up the camera because there was dirt in there, and I'm very impressed by the cooling of this phone. I never seen such thing, such big metal plates in here before. So let's get this out of here and get this in here. So here we have the new plate, here's the old one, and now we see, well, we forgot the speaker. It is glued in, you just can pick it up, take it out, and put it in the new phone. So let's do that and get this thing off here, so this cable is free, and then we can start assembling the whole phone together. With the speaker back in place, we see this cable here is loose. We don't want that, so we're going to take it off this thing here and glue it on here just right. So let's do that. With that cable in place, nice and tightly, so when we put it on, that no cable is pushing against it. Now we can assemble first motherboard and then the second board into the whole thing, and then we're going to do the battery. So let's just put this in here. So what I have done now is just to lift it back in place without putting any pressure on the board itself. The next part is going to install the motor and place the board right back where it was. And the third part is to get the antenna line all here around here back up there, so it's tucked in nicely. So let's go to that. So we have now put the sideboard in place, just put it in, it fits right in without any screws or any glue, and then just back put in the motor and attention to the cables so that they aren't stuck anywhere, and down the very important part, to tuck in nicely the antenna cable all the way up here, and try to look that they're tucked in very nicely so later on the case isn't pushing against it. So here we have the cooling foil. So the next thing to do is quite simple. We are going to attach this here with this, and this adapter here with that adapter here, and then we can put in the battery. So inserting this cable here, focus please, this cable here is quite tricky. You must push it in until you see this white line here matching up with the board itself, like in this case here. And this one we can just tuck it in and it should stay. I will do it without holding the camera. So the next part is putting in the battery. You can just place it nice and tightly here so that it lines up everywhere. And now we have it lined up, and here's the connector for it. And now we're going to connect this connector with the sideboard, and then we're going to connect this connector here with the main board. So with all in place, we're going to control every connector, those, and those, and this one, and control also the antenna cable if everything is in place, so later on we don't have a problem. The last piece that is missing is the speaker. I'm going to clean it, and just to show you how to put it in, just put it in so, like so, and screw it in place, and then we have every component on this phone inside. And the next part we're going to do is put this cover on and the 14 screws in, and well, we are almost done. With the back cover on and the speaker in place, we can now put in our screws. Oh, and the screws, here we have the long one, and this long one is only one screw that is because those long. You can, that's this one. You just put it in, and the other standard screws are all around. You can see the difference. So this screw comes in here.